Before I start, I would like to elaborate on the reason as to why I chose to perform this piece. My inspiration came from a quote that was in the book Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. It talks about how Jenny's grandmother on page 16 stated that she wanted to preach a sermon about black women sitting on high. With this quote, it brought me to how society is now and how women are not treated equally. In our society, women are more like second-class citizens. According to New York Times, women earn 76 cents per every $1 that men earn. With that being said, it is clear that women are treated unequally in our society. But when we add race to this, that is double the discrimination. And due to all these reasons, Zora Neale Hurston portrays women empowerment. In this piece, I play Jenny Crawford, and I will begin. Black empowerment. You can look at me and tell me what it is that you know about my life and how far that I can reach. You can form your own decisions about my life and what it is that I have achieved. But you can never define the strength that I had to break through all those walls. You cannot deny the perseverance that I displayed through it all. Because no matter how you wrote me down in history, I know that I write my own history. No matter how you documented my name in your book, I can still know for sure that I am the pulpit all you women folks look to, and the beast all you men condemn. Because you look at her over there, and you ask yourself, why can't them women folks be like her? Why can't they do what she do? Why can't they be submissive? I mean, why do they have to make a way for themselves? Better yet, why can't they remain being slaves to inferiority? Because we became known as lords of lesser things. But because I contain that empowerment that men doubt, that empowerment that society scorns, that empowerment that you have never seen before, that same empowerment is what kept me standing. It is what kept me holding on. It is hard enough being a woman in the world that we live in, but being a black woman, you ain't even got a nickel to your name. Wherever we are seen, we are pulled down and made to carry the bondages that my grandmother fought for that long time ago. Because to us, we are more like a rut in the road. You see, my mother was a slave to rape. My grandmother was a slave to slavery. And I was a slave to love and discontentment to white and black. It was mass cruelty. It was a weapon against my strength. And if it turned out of more significance, still it was hope that I might fall to their level someday. You see, you probably already know this about me, but I ain't never seen my papa. My mama neither. My grandmother raised me, and she once told me a painful truth. A revelation, to be exact. I remember it like yesteryear. Let me break it down for you. She said, I don't want your feathers always crumpled by folks, throwing up things in your face. And I can't die easy thinking maybe them men folks, white or black, is making a spitting cup out of you. Ain't that the truth? But you see, what these men don't know is sometimes God gets familiar with us women folks too, and he sometimes talks his inside business. And he told me how surprised he was about y'all turning up so smart after him, making you different. And how surprised you is going to be if you ever find out that you don't know half as much about us as you think you do. Sometimes, the negative perceptions that us colored women face are a concern. But we together, we will live through this, and we will come out as victors. Because I know that this world is a stallion rolling on the blue pasture of ether. I know that God tore down the old world and built a new one by sunup. My second husband once told me, I'm a woman and my place is in the home. He's the wind and I'm the grass. I bend whichever way the he blows. To him, I was a rut in the road. Plenty of life beneath the surface, but it was kept beaten down by the wheels of envy, the wheels of wickedness, the wheels of hatred, the wheels of men. I got nothing from Jody, nor from Calix, who was my first husband. And my third husband, may thy God bless his soul, he died from saving me. Don't you get it? He died from rescuing me. The son of the evening sun. Sorrow, dubbed by sorrow, spun by the devil, and ignited by hatred was in my heart. But you see, I didn't give in, nor did I give up. I didn't just sit back and accept my fate. No, I rose up, and I became the Janie that I imagined myself being. I became the woman that you never expected me to be. Because I know that I am a woman every inch of me. A black, empowered woman. In the book Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, she utilizes a racial motif to illustrate the negative perceptions that us colored women face in order to reveal the empowerment and perseverance. On page 2, after burying the dead, Janie realizes we became lords of lesser things. In this quote, the metaphorical usage and the contradiction allows the reader to really understand how women were really seen as and what they were thought of as. Because when we think about lords, we think about someone who is higher or big, someone who has a lot of prestige. But in this sense, women were seen as this, but in the magnitude of lesser things of lesser values and significance. The overall implication of this allows us to elaborate on the value of women in the eye of a male-dominant society. As the story continues, on page 16, Hurston points out, us colored women as branches without roots. This metaphorical usage in this quote shows how women can be alive and breathing, but they do not have the root to uphold them. She, Janie, who does not have a stable ground to walk on and to grow out, just like branches without roots. And this further heeds to the disadvantage of being a woman in a world where they see women as lesser in value. If we digress back to page 2, Hurston writes, after being mocked for running with TK, Janie confesses, it was a weapon against my strengths. And if it turned out of more significance, still it was hope that I might fall to their level someday. The technique used here is an envious tone, and this envious tone releases a revelation, which helps to enlighten the audience about the situation at hand, which is being black and being a woman. This tone allows an unsettled mood with the tone. Overall, it heeds to the struggles of womanhood, with not just acceptance, but hatred as well, which is also due to hate and envy. Moving forward on page 3, Janie realizes how she truly is seen in the world after hearing all the negativities from her old friends who wanted to get in her business. She writes, I sit high but look low. The contrast between high and low helps bring forth how Janie is a human being, but because she is a woman, she's thought of as a lower subject. This shows how gender and race determines power in society, and basically how nobody expects anything good out of a woman, most especially a colored woman. On page 14, Hurston writes, the nigger woman is the rule of the world so far as I can see. Janie's grandmother told this to Janie when grandmother was trying to convince Janie to get married. The author uses this to emphasize how it's a nigger woman who is seen as the mule of the world. The mule seems to represent a position in the world, because if we look at how the mule was treated in the book, it was very badly, which shows and puts forth how women are treated in society and how they are seen in society. The overall implication of this shows how race and gender plays an important role in what position you would be in life. After all these years of trying to hold on, Janie comes to realize what she meant to Jody, nothing but a storekeeper. On page 76, Janie admits, I was a rut in the road. plenty of life beneath the surface, but it was kept beaten down by the wheels. Technique that is used here, there's a few techniques that are used here, which is metaphor, prepositional phrase, and conjunction. According to dictionary.com, a rut can be a habit, pattern, or behavior that has become dull and unproductive, but is hard to change. And this can be seen in the way that Jane's life is lived, when she finally realizes that she's not getting anywhere in the marriage she has with Jody. And so moving on to the prepositional phrase, when she says plenty of life beneath the surface, it shows that Janie knows that she has a lot of life, but she knows that she can't really show it when she's with Jody, and she feels confined in what she's in. And then with the conjunction, it shows how she's never really intended to be revived, because she knows this, but no one expects anything good out of her. The overall implication of this together shows how Janie isn't seen as important enough, that even she feels her values are being depreciated. On page 79, after understanding that nobody gives you power, as said by Roseanne Barr, you just take it, Janie proclaims, I'm a woman, every inch of me. This realization shows how Janie has come to the realization of who she is and how no one can break her. In this way, Janie has reached Maslow's hierarchy of self-realization. Even after this realization, she adds, she knows it. She knows it, giving assurance to the audience. The overall implication of this leads to Janie's stance in the end. Right now, there are many women who know this, that knows what's happening in this world, and there are many women who proclaim their voices. In the song One Girl Revolution by Superchick, the lyrics reads, I'll be everything that I want to be. I'm confidence and insecurity. I'm a voice yet waiting to be heard. I'll shoot the shot, bang, that you hear around the world. And I am one girl revolution. Some people see the revolution, but mostly only see the girl. I can lose my hard-earned freedom if my fear defines my role. I declare my independence from the critiques and their stones. I can find my revolution. I can learn to stand alone. This defines Janie's life in the ways that she finally, in the end, after the death of TK, she finally learned to live by herself and not really focus on what other people were saying. Like after the death of Jody, she ran out for TK. Although people were telling her not to, and people were basically like telling her all this negative things, she still didn't listen to them because she did what she wanted to do and not what they wanted to do. And the next lyrics by Mary J. Blige, Good Woman Down, it reads, it doesn't matter what they say or do, don't let them get to you. Don't be afraid, you can break through. Take what I've been through to see that you can't hold a good woman down. Went through the same point of giving up. I felt like I had enough. Went to the edge of the ledge, but I didn't jump. My life has summed it up. You can't hold a good woman down. And this is true with Janie Crawford, because her life does sum it up, that you cannot hold a good woman down. She was never held down by the negativities of the world. She still fought for her way, and she defined equality with women because she showed the empowerment it takes to actually gain that equality that you want. She fought for what she wanted, which shows her empowerment. And the last lyrics by Helen Reddy, I am a woman, it reads, oh, yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born of pain. Yes, I've paid the price, but look how much I gained. If I have to, I can face anything. I am strong, I am invincible, I am woman. Oh, I am woman, I'm invincible, I am strong. I am woman, I'm invincible, I'm strong, I am woman. We can see how the repetition of I am woman, I am invincible, I am strong defines who Janie is. She knows that this is what she is, and that is why she stopped allowing people to determine her life for her. First of all, it was her grandmother who determined her life, making her get married to Logan Killings. Then it was Jody making her do all these things that she didn't want to do. And then she finally realized that who she is and who she wanted to be, and she made that path for herself to get to where she wants to be. Through all these analyses, it is clear how in the book, The Eyes of Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, she utilizes a racial motif to illustrate the negative perceptions that colored women face. By so doing, she reveals their empowerment and perseverance. And that was displayed throughout the book. There's an African proverb that goes like this. It's not what you call me, but what I answer to. And as we have just discovered, Janie answers to empowerment, and so should you.
Are you doing that piece for speech this year?
No.
Just wondering. It was incredible.
Yeah. Did you write it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long did you write?
Like 2 days. Well, I had breaks in between.
Did you use like the quotes that you were going to use throughout your IEP?
Yeah, I was trying to basically, because it's Janie's words, and since what I performed was from Janie's point of view, I was trying to show how the things she said in the book kind of correspond to what I'm trying to analyze. Caitlin.
Out of all the options you could have picked, why did you pick a spoken word?
Spoken word. Well, speech season is about to start, and I thought about how, I guess it's just more me, and I can add a little more creativity to it that way.
What made you choose Clear Eyes You're Watching God instead of the other books?
Well, first of all, in the book The Stranger, I didn't really connect with that book, so I just dismissed that book. And then for Death and the Maiden, I guess I didn't have much options. I didn't know like what I could do for that book. But then when I read Their Eyes Were Watching God, I really connected with what Janie, like I was able to understand what Janie was going through. I mean, not that I went through it, but like I just, like with all the movies I've watched, I'm just like, this is like reality right here. And then with Grandmother, all of that.